Hi there, welcome to the Bradbury Young channel and welcome to my Friday Sews. And as I've always said, first of all start with a thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating the hashtag Friday Sews. So what have I been doing? Well, let's start with something I've been struggling with for a few weeks now actually. It's the Simplicity 8186, which is a wrap dress and slip dress. Finally managed to get something made with these two. Bit of a chop and change in. The wrap dress I was going to make out some black material that I'd got. Didn't use that in the end, just decided it wasn't right, didn't want to use it. It was a bit of a bugger to sort of be sewing with, so I changed my mind and I went with the material that I had originally considered for the slip dress. So let me just put that on and I'll show you what I've made. And here we are, my well, it's a wrap dress and a slip dress, so I think it's come out quite well. Fits quite nicely, I suppose. I mean, there's a little bit of gaping here, but I didn't put a facing piece in here like I should have. I've constructed it completely differently to actually what the instructions say, so it's not quite the same, even though it's got the same sort of shaping and styling to it. Without sleeves, I decided I couldn't be bothered to put sleeves on. I should have done really, but you know, it sits quite nicely. A little bit of ruching up here on the shoulder, but yeah, I think it's come out quite nice. It's as a wrap. I've got some ties here and on the inside, but yeah, I think it sits really nicely on me. Now, with this being a wrap dress, as I say, doing some changes to this, I decided to line this. I'll just come closer. And you can see this lining material, and this it's almost like a velvety feel to it, but it's awful stuff. This is like it's like sewing putty. It's just really hard to get it to stay in one place and to sew neatly. Sure, it'd be easier herding cats than sewing this stuff, but you know, there you go. Anyway, I used some red, it's bias taping, but it's more like a silky feel to it that I had hold of, that I've used for the ties on the inside and on the outside. And then obviously if I undo this and take it off, that's the wrap. You can see that I've got the slip dress on underneath. Now this wrap top, that lining I put on the top section but not on the bottom part, so didn't feel that I wanted to do that, and much more work involved and limitations on material, but yeah, that's quite nice. And then the slip dress is literally really easy. It's a front and a back and that's it, and then some bias taping for the you know, around the edges and the straps for the shoulder. Now when I did this, I didn't think it'd be long enough, the actual pattern pieces, and it says to actually make it out of the actual self material, which I didn't want to do because it would use up a lot of materials, a lot of waste in that. So again, I used this red bias tape just to accent it with the actual wrap, and put that on. I made the straps longer than I needed, then thought, well, I need to find some way to shorten them if I need to. So what I've done, these are actually key rings that I found that I've used just to be able to create it, so I could work out what length I wanted and then put that in and just stitch it up. And there we go. This is literally just onto the knee, pretty much on the knee in length, and it's quite nice. Very summery, I suppose, because it is very lightweight. It's a cotton lawn, so and some as well, it's come and gone really already, so there we go. But it fits quite nicely. I quite like it. I suppose the only thing with this is that because of this material and the way the straps are, it does sort of want to sort of roll off the shoulder a bit, but that's not too bad. I mean, with something else on top of this, like the wrap piece, then that helps cover those shoulders a bit more. So, you know, it is a nice, fairly simple make even though I seem to have made such a meal out of making this, because it just didn't seem to go right. Perhaps it was the original material I was trying to use was different to this. It had it didn't have stretch on the with the grain, but it had quite a bit of stretch against the grain, so on the cross grain, so it really didn't want to sit very well, nearly as bad as this lining that I've used for this, but this lining, at least it doesn't have any stretch, it's just a bit slippery and hard to keep in place. But yeah, there we go. So slip dress and wrap dress all together. So the next thing I've been doing is actually this smock top. Now this is the mock-up number 1 that I'd originally done. Yeah, this is a top that I had that wasn't fitting well. The seams had started to go, so I decided I wanted to copy it. So took it all apart, made some pattern pieces, and started trying to work out how to put it back together. And this was, I say, mock-up number 1. This is the first one that I did. Yeah, it came out sort of all right. A couple of issues with it. Needed a bit more distance, I suppose, spacing across this whole area here, and maybe across on the side. Pin tucks, trying to work out what spacing I'd need for that. But yeah, it seemed to come out alright. Got an idea of what I was doing. And this is the mock-up number 2 with sleeves this time. I put a bit more sizing in, a bit more material in here, open this up, got the shoulders to meet up properly. This time I just put sleeves on, long sleeves, because I like long sleeves, which is actually from a different pattern altogether. Can't remember which pattern it was, but I'll have a look and maybe put it in the notes. But yeah, I found another sleeve that would work on this without having to do any messing about, so that was good. But yeah, mock-up number 2, I think I sorted out the pin tucks and got the spacing right. So really, what else is there after this? Well, it's the finished thing. That's what's last of all. What I've actually managed to do is this top, and yeah, it's a really nice top. Fits really well. I'm actually really surprised at how well this has come out. I wasn't expecting it to be quite so, well, good really, because it's from another garment, so that item was, you know, factory made, and I wasn't really sure that I'd be able to copy it or get it to sort of same sort of thing. It's not exactly like the original garment, but it's very close to it. So yeah, I'm very happy with how it's come out. It does bell out at the bottom, as it were, part because of these pin tucks. I was thinking about putting a cuff or maybe elastic on the end of the sleeve. I thought, no, I want to leave them like that, sort of, you know, loose a bit. So, but yeah, I'll just go over some of the details on this top, some of the things that I did, and some of the little tricky parts about it. So I'll just come a bit closer. The first thing was actually working out these pin tucks, which I think you can see on here. And they seem to come out quite well. I think I've got them fairly even now. Spacing was a bit difficult to work out at first. The collar. Now, it took me a while to work out this collar to get it on right. And in the end, I've ended up hand sewing this collar on because I just can't do collars for some reason. Now the sleeves, they went on fine, but they're a bit puckered because I think basically because this is a cotton poplin, and I've got, you know, there's, once you do the sleeve heads, you do end up with a few layers in there. They get folded over to try and get the right strength and get the head in, but they went in all right, so I'm quite happy with that. The buttons, now on the original one it gets to about here and then it sort of goes out at an angle. I didn't want that, I just did it as a straight up and down placket. But I got 4 buttons on here, and it's quite a low opening, it comes down quite far, but I mean, it's, you know, sits quite nicely. But yeah, all in all, it sits really nicely. And what I'll do is I'll just lower this down the camera so I can go to the waist. And there you go, you can see how that sort of holds it in, it brings it in there at the bodice, gives it shape in, and then it sort of bells out at the bottom there, which I really like. And it's not too long, it's got a bit of shape in there. And just as a little extra, when I hemmed the bottom, I put this this tape, this I know it's not a, it's a hemming tape, not a bias tape. Do that, and you can see that it is cats there on there. Of course, when I look at it like that, it's the correct way up when I turn it up like that. But there we go. But yeah, a very nice top. Now, if I remember right, on my last Friday sews, I think I might have said that I was waiting for some interfacing to make my waistcoat. My waistcoat that I was doing, this thing, that was mock-up number 1, and this was mock-up number 2, which was a little bit shorter and I think fitted better, so this is the one I'd be going with the adjustments on it. So yeah, quite like that, but of course I did need some interfacing to get it done. It's finally arrived. Some interfacing. I obviously don't need all of this interfacing, but I've got a few other bits as well. I've got some medium weight iron-on, I've got some heavier weight iron-on, so this is quite a stiff iron-on interfacing, and I've got some quite thick sewing interfacing, which I'm not quite sure how this will work. The reason for getting this is because I got a bag that I want to get made, and I wanted to stiffen it up a bit better than what I've done previously, so I thought I'd give this a try as well. But yeah, got me interfacing, so I should be able to get on with that waistcoat, or vest as you might call it. I think that was pattern, let me just have a look. That was the Quick Sew 3899, which I'm hoping to get a move on with. So so there you go. Well, that's it, I think, really. That's all the stuff I've made. Much better than last week, which last week I didn't get anything made. There was no video because I just had other things to do, as you normally do. You know, you've got other things you have to get on with, and I just didn't have the time to get and make anything or get a video out. So there you go, unfortunately. But this time, this week, yes, loads done. Or I feel I've got loads done anyway. So yeah, very nice. Well, that's it for this week. So please give us a like if you did like this video, subscribe, and that way you'll get notifications of future videos. And please do comment. I do enjoy reading your comments. So thank you very much for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing my next video. Bye.